Hello, I'm Brian Fitzgerald, the Golf Doctor, and today I'm going to show you how you can improve your lag putting. This is one of the most neglected areas of golf, and it's such an easy thing to improve without changing your technique. Sure, there is a technique, but even if you don't focus on technique and you just practice, you will get better. So typically, the PGA Tour average for the amount of time spent on practicing putting is around 10 to 15 hours. Jason Day practices 20 hours a week. That's a lot. When you consider that he has to practice all of his other aspects of his game, he's got to play golf, he's got a young family, that's a lot of time to devote on one skill, but that's how important putting is. The average college golfer in the US practices 5 to 10 hours a week on the skill of putting. The average club champion at a golf club practices 1 to 3 hours on the skill of putting. And the average club golfer practices 10 minutes. That's usually twice a week, 5 minutes before they tee off, they go and hit a few putts. I wouldn't call that practice, I call that a warm-up. So my first thing is, when you want to improve your putting, no matter what length of putt, try and find out where you are on that scale and then try and move yourself up a level. So if you're in the 10 minutes, try and practice an hour a week. And if you do that, even without changing your technique, you are definitely going to improve your putting. And if you can improve your putting, you will definitely have lower golf scores. So today is mostly focused on the concept of trying to control and get better at lag putting, distance control. Where most people go wrong is they're standing over the putt and they're thinking, how hard or how soft do I have to hit this putt to go the right distance? That's probably where they start to go wrong. It's not a case of how hard and how soft. How hard and how soft is subjective. It depends on how much sleep you had. Have you had a busy week this week? Are you tired? Have you been for a jog in the morning? There's so many things that affect how you feel. So feel-based systems can work, but they're not consistent. So I prefer a different method to a feel-based system, how hard or how soft. So I like to think of it that my backswing, and in particular the length of my backswing, is what controls the distance that I hit the ball. So we have to start with a presumption, and the presumption is that our timing is the same for all length of putts. So one of my favorite little exercises is to get a metronome app on the phone and set it to 52 to 54 beats per minute. And you just practice swinging. And when you get to there, you should hear the tick. And when you get to there, you should feel the tock. So that would be a 1-to-1 ratio. So it's tick, tock, tick, tock. If I want a longer putt, I'm going to increase my length of swing, but it's going to be in the same rhythm. So as I've got that metronome going tick, tock, if I want a short putt, tick, tock, tick, tock. A longer putt, tick, tock, tick, tock. A shorter putt, tick, tock. So my timing must remain the same. And it's a 1-to-1 ratio. That is, and here's the kicker, that is without the golf ball. If I put a ball down and I have my tick and the tock going without a ball, that's perfect. But what happens when the club touches the ball is we have a collision. And when we have a collision, the club head slows down. The follow-through is impeded. So what will actually happen, without you thinking of it, is as you get that 1-to-1 ratio I was speaking about before, when the ball comes into contact, it becomes a 1 or a 2-to-1 ratio. So if your backswing timing, for instance, is 0.6 of a second, your follow through is going to be 0.3 of a second. If you have a 0.7 backswing time, it's going to be 0.35 down. And so your length of your follow through is going to be shorter than that of your backswing. And that's happened because of the collision between club and ball. So that's the first thing. If we can just work on that, you'll find you'll get much better distance control when you putt. When it comes time to hitting, I see a lot of people getting anxious and they look up to see what happens. Did I hit the ball where I wanted it to go? Now the problem is when you look up, I'll demonstrate it here. So as I look up, my putter's rising, my body's rising, I'm effectively going to top the golf ball. Now if you're on the golf course and you top the ball, it's a terrible result. When you're on the green and you top the ball, it won't be a terrible result. It'll stay on the right line, but it'll come up short and you think, gee, I need to hit that harder. You've actually hit it with the right stroke, but because your putter was rising rapidly as you hit the ball, you've hit above the equator and that's reduced the amount the ball will roll. So we have to have a premium of contact. We want to make solid contact on these longer putts. So one of the ways I like to do it is I like to count to 2 after I hit the ball before I look up and see where the ball has gone. And if I can do that, I'm improving my contact. So let's see what that looks like. Now I look up. I just broke out to the right. I've set up a little square down the end there, and that's probably about 6 to 8 inches to the right of the square. It's a 4-foot square. So I need to aim a bit further left when I hit this shot. But you could see that I stayed down after I hit it, and my pace and my length was quite good. So we've got to make sure we have that nice solid contact. The next thing we need to be focusing on is what is in control. And I see a lot of people with poor distance control trying to keep the hands out of the putting stroke, and they're thinking of their shoulders rocking from side to side. So sure, your shoulders rock from side to side, but they do so. If I just move my hand back here, you can see my shoulders rocking. I have no thought of my shoulders rocking. All I'm doing is taking my hand back. We need one hand to be in control. And when you've got neither hand in control and sort of, I even see people doing things like that with their grip, where they get their fingers down there, that's ensuring that nothing is in control of your putter. You want something to be in control of your putter. You don't want neutral hands. So if you're right-handed, it really should be that right hand, and in particular, the thumb and the pointer finger of the right hand. If you putt left-handed, it should be the thumb and the pointer finger of your left hand. If you putt cross-handed or left hand low, it should be the pointer and the thumb of the left hand. So they're the 2 strongest digits on each hand. That's the control mechanism and speed mechanism. So that's something that you really should be focusing on, is letting that happen. And I think it's a great idea to just putt with one hand behind your back, and I'm squeezing a little bit with those 2, my thumb and my pointer. So without thinking too much, and we don't want to think too much in golf, I actually get a nice roll on that, and that's gone nicely inside that square, and there was no thought whatsoever of my technique. On long putting or lag putting, you don't want technique thoughts, you just want feel. Okay, and the feeling comes from your thumb and pointer finger, and I say feel, I really also mean control. You just want to control the length of your swing with that hand, and that's such a good putting drill. So you can do it from various lengths. Tiger Woods does it all the time, and that just helps him get a better feel for his putting stroke, and then he then puts 2 hands on and does it again. But you can see there that the ball rolled beautifully. So thank you for letting me help you with your golf. I'm Brian Fitzgerald, the Golf Doctor, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.